Bradley,
Here.
Mr. Rice,
Here.
Mr. Scott,
Here.
Colonel Taylor, Ms. Clodfelter, Ms. Nyworth.
Here. Okay, any recognition, special guests?
Oh, man.
Nope. Okay, architect.
We have those reports. They did the final punch list today, but it didn't get very far. So hopefully they'll be ready to report to us that they've got more done. But I do think that they're working on it. I mean, it's just getting some of those final things done.
I'm glad to see the parking lot on.
And the parking lot does look good. So they're getting close to a final, but they weren't quite ready. And so.
Okay, superintendent's report.
First action item is 7B. Regarding the district use of facilities for 21-22 school year. Obviously, the pandemic and emergencies caused us to change the use of some school facilities for 2021. In those discussions, looking at what enrollment looks like right now, and I think the one thing the pandemic taught us is we're going to have to be flexible in how we use facilities, but as of right now, I will recommend that we continue with Adams as a virtual site for 3, 4, and 5. Washington is a virtual site for pre-K, K1 and 2. And then the other change would be, as we've talked about extensively, making Tomlinson a life-ready center and moving those middle school kids. The transportation line for future would split at 38th Street, but for the first 2 or 3 years, we'll provide for the Tomlinson students. We're going to do everything we can to provide transportation to Central or Eisenhower Middle School so that they can choose, so we don't change those routes, especially if they already have siblings, so it doesn't make a hardship on parents who have siblings or so forth. So that is kind of my recommendation. And any questions or?
No.
Are we going to have, if things get better, hopefully, like in the middle of next year, will we change that with them virtual schools? Or is the plan to keep virtual schools for?
We're going to have virtual because we have that many who want to be virtual. The number is less right now, it looks like. But one thing we've done is we've had our leadership try to recruit, and the number of students wanting to enroll at Washington and Adams are just not high enough to open up yet. So at this time next year, we will revisit that. And if parents are more, the one thing. So right now we don't have enough that are committing. And next year at this time we'll relook it. And then the one commitment I made when we started, because you guys was a concern with some of you, was that we wouldn't close buildings and walk away from them and let them go downhill. So we're going to repurpose or reuse. We're going to continue to operate and do things with Adams and Washington. And they've worked out really good this year. And the fact we kept Adams up and we had it when Edison had an emergency. And then all of our teachers were just awesome. The Adams teachers moved to Washington. The Washington teachers were awesome and let them in. And then we moved to Edison. I mean, those things, adults had to make a lot of changes, but it was one small, it was one bus over. So we'll continue to do that. That's kind of the goal. But I think the one thing the pandemic has taught us is we need to reevaluate every year what we're looking at and be prepared for different things to happen every year and be flexible. Because we should always be working to meet the needs of the students the best we can.
Well, and we need to look at the 38th and Eisenhower High School area.
Yeah, because of the.
Oh yeah, it goes way out to Grayson and everything. Go to Lawton High.
Well, I think where you get to, that's what I'm saying. Lawton High east of 38th would go back to Eisenhower High School is what for transportation. One thing we've talked about with our declining enrollment. And with the new transfer rule, the governor decided to transfer rule. You can go to any school you want. So we definitely have to do away with our own transfer restrictions, because if a kid can go to Elgin, no questions asked, or Geronimo or Walters, we've got to let them to go to whatever school they want. So we're not. They can choose what high school they go to now or what middle school they go to. We will, with the new transfer law, the governor, we'll talk more in transportation districts where we'll run buses. And again, our ultimate goal is to work with parents to provide transportation, especially in that Tomlinson area, for the first couple years, to make that as seamless as we can until everybody gets back on the regular.
So we'll keep
schedule.
Evaluating what's going on.
Always. And I think we should always be. I mean, if one thing the pandemic's taught us is we got to be prepared for anything. And hopefully we're all back normal next year and it's good, but we just got to continue to evaluate.
We'll probably always have virtual classes.
I believe so, yes.
I mean, I just think there's been a paradigm shift, and that's probably something we'll have from here on out.
Yes, when you know the largest school in the state's a virtual school right now.
Oh,
And I
really?
think they'll lose some students. And our
Okay.
goal is that we can our people have done a great job of making our virtual school competitive. And I would say that in everything I look at, our virtual teachers and how we run virtual pre-K through 12 is better than anyone in the state. And our teachers are doing a great job of collaborating and making that. And we got to make that strong. So if a Lawton student chooses virtual, we want them to choose our virtual, not a national virtual or a statewide virtual. We want them to choose Lawton virtual. So that's going to be the ultimate goal. And it does help that you have a place to house them,
Right.
because those teachers are able to work there and collaborate. And that collaboration, there's a principal there to oversee it. And that collaboration is what has made ours stronger than what other people are doing, in my opinion.
Any other questions? Is there a motion?
I make a motion, we approve it.
Second.
Call roll?
Ms. Bradley,
Yes.
Mr. Rice,
Yes.
Mr. Scott,
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth,
Yes. All right, 7C.
7C is the discussion to authorize the school's attorney, which in this case, RFR and the Center for Education Law are working together to initiate legal action, because if you know what the state board did is they delved into building fund, which is local tax dollars. And I try to explain this to people. I'm just old enough to remember, and some of you remember, when we used to vote on building fund every year. We had to approve it. Well, then we approved it. Well, that building fund was voted for Lawton schools, not per kid. It's in the business, and it's to build. Well, they voted where now that money is going to be dispersed out, and they don't even know how it's going to do. We think that they overstepped their bounds. We had a good quote in the paper about it, and basically we want Lawton taxpayer money to stay in Lawton. The attorneys feel it's that way, but in this case, you're authorizing me to join that lawsuit. The ideal is they're thinking $1 per student is what they're looking at right now. It would be the total cost if it goes to the Supreme Court. The legislator took a small action today. Our ultimate hope is legislative.
They should.
Because it's their job. To appropriate money is a legislative
Yes.
action. And hopefully they step in there and take their job. But again, that's a governor legislative fight that they can, but this is just our backup, because if we have to bring the judicial in, we'll bring them in. So that's what that is.
Yeah, one thing you might mention, I know there's a big move in the legislature to do something and do it now, but with the position of the governor and a potential veto, they're probably going to have to do litigation before this is all said and done, unless the governor changes his position.
Yeah, they may have to override a veto if they don't do.
Yeah.
Because even they ran something through committee today, but it was more, it still didn't cover it all. They were trying to take the virtuals out, and there's a lot of questions. Just for FYI, the OSSBA has a For the People committee that was created to create legislation. They have a physical resources, and I'm the chair of that committee, and we've been working to fund that building equalization fund. The state of Oklahoma has a building equalization fund, and they took some of that, but just not the total. But we actually had an agreement with the charter schools on how we would do that and how it worked, and then the state board jumped out there and messed it all up, in my opinion. But so that's what this is about, is just to be prepared for Lawton to join. And obviously, if it starts running into a lot of money, I would come back and say, hey, do we want to continue? Where do we want to? Because again, but right now it's protecting the interest for a long period. It's not just for next year or the next year. It's for years to come. The interest of Lawton students and the community of Lawton.
Yeah, do you know what attorneys are going to be involved?
I know the Center for Law and all their attorneys, I think, are going to work together.
And
So.
also, Philip Waldo, who represents Moore and Hennessy and Ringo.
She's joined in too, has she not?
Yeah, the three of them are pooling their resources.
So-
Those three groups.
Great.
So how many, do we know how many schools are joining this?
92 have committed so far. I think that's what you told me that, and somebody else gave you.
As of today, there's 92 of the RFR clients that have.
Yeah, just of
That
RFR.
doesn't count the Center for Education Law and the three clients that Phillips Law has.
So they think they'll have over 200.
I would say it's going to be probably well over 150
Yeah.
before it's all said and done. Hopefully over 200. They've got now about 230,000 ADM students with the schools they have committed. And that doesn't count us. So they're going to get over 300,000 before it's all said and
It'll be.
done.
Good. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Call the roll.
Ms. Bradley?
Yes.
Mr. Rice?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth?
Yes. Any announcements?
Yeah, we got to shout out, Dr. Deloach, received the 2021 Teachers Appreciation Foundation Golden Heart Award at the 7th Annual, Teacher Appreciation Foundation Awards Ceremony in Oklahoma City. It's a nonprofit that is dedicated to giving back to Oklahoma schools. So congratulations to Dr. Deloach. Don't forget that this is FFA's annual spring plant sale is going on right now at the school farm. So you can also get on their Facebook page for details. And last, just kind of an update for you as of this time, and Lance is cringing, but we have over $1 million budgeted for summer school this year.
Yay.
Just to let you know that we are committed to running a
Real
summer
summer
school to help with the gap. And that doesn't count that they get free child nutrition as part of our child nutrition program. So we're really excited about that, and hopefully we can cover some of that, as we're calling it. You know, we said the summer slide, now we got the COVID slide. So hopefully we can cover some of this and help our kids get caught back up.
But that's excellent.
Yes.
To invest that
What
money
we
in
need to
a
do.
summer school program.
And that's what a lot of that federal
Yes.
money we're getting is for, and that's what we're gonna do, is try to invest it into that. And so, yes, ma'am.
That's great. All right, anything on the consent agenda to be removed? Is there a motion for the consent agenda?
I make a motion we approve.
Consent agenda?
I'll second.
I have a question about a consent agenda item. There was a,
Oh, okay, go ahead, Mark.
okay, there's a, sorry to interrupt the roll call there.
Well, that's fine.
There was a contract for sale. Was there 3 of them?
There's Sweeney,
We sold Sweeney and Wilson.
How many do we have for sale currently?
That's it.
Good. I was
It's
hoping
rid
that
of
Those
was
are the two last. We have
Thank
a small
goodness.
piece of property at Wide Acres that we're gonna try to get rid of that we need to sell. And besides that, we're good to go.
Well, we still got the property on, 52nd,
That 20 acres?
20 acres.
Yeah, we'd have to debate on it.
20 acres north of, where the new Man Thomas nursing home is.
Yeah.
we need to sell that
And
too.
we've got that listed with Johnny Owens, and
Yeah.
he's still, that listing's coming up, so we need to be renewing
He
that.
thought he had it sold twice. They backed out on us. All right, call the roll.
Ms. Bradley?
Yes.
Mr. Rice?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth?
Yes. Do we need an executive session?
I do not.
Okay. Personnel report.
Need to approve that.
Anybody have any questions about the personnel report? Is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
A second?
Call the roll.
Ms. Bradley?
Yes.
Mr. Rice?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth?
Yes. Okay.
I feel like, I say this a lot, but as I look at the resignations, I just think some of these people have, almost all of them, have made such a huge contribution to LPS. And I am very, for one, appreciative of their service, and they will be missed.
They sure will. We must be getting old. All right, any board meeting dates need to be set besides our regular?
No, we're good right now.
Okay, and we will, board announcements, anybody? And we want to thank everybody for supporting the foundation golf tournament. They did well, as the paper told you this morning, and that money comes right back to us in teacher scholarships. So,
Great.
it's awesome.
Yep, I forgot about that. Good, thank you.
Okay, well, adjournment, we are adjourned.